wearing this goofy vest? Well, I'm gonna tell you why. Today is kind of a cool day. I just recently bought that 2021 Porsche Taycan. Porsche's first ever 100% electric vehicle. I kind of like it, I kind of don't. Today has nothing to do with that Porsche Taycan. I actually stopped at the Manchester, New Hampshire Harley-Davidson dealership to charge that car because they have a fast charging station that showed up on my app. So I pulled in and they have a Livewire. They have a 2021 Harley-Davidson Livewire, which sounds pretty cool. It's a 100% electric vehicle, 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, 0 to 100 in under 5 seconds. So I'm looking at it, I'm curious. There is a tax credit when you buy those things, and I can definitely use the tax incentives. So I'm here, and they sold me on a test drive. So today, I'm gonna take you along with me on the new Harley Livewire to see if it lives up to all the hype. I mean, I love the sound of a Harley engine. I love the V-twin. I love everything about that rumble, except the guys that drive by me revving the engine and stuff like that. That's slightly annoying, but that's neither here nor there. Today, I'm gonna try out the 100% electric vehicle Livewire, and I'm gonna take you guys with me to see if it lives up to all the hype or if it's really kind of a bust. And we're gonna find out together. So come on inside. They have one. Wow, look at that bike. That is cool looking. Wow. 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, 0 to 100 in under 5, they said. So this is the 2021 Harley-Davidson Livewire. How does it work? Does it work off horsepower ratings or is it torque ratings? Like, how do you know how much power this bike actually has?
Well, it's a 2020, not a 21.
It's a 2020. Oh, so these have been out for a year already?
Yes.
So the strange thing is there's no clutch, no gear selector. So it's just front and rear brakes and then an on and off switch. So there's obviously no start button either, right?
So it's actually a start button right here. So right here is your kill switch. So since you have the key fob next to you and close to the bike, that's what's going to be able to turn the bike on. You wouldn't be able to turn it on unless you had the key fob next to it.
So same thing, I don't have to plug a key in, I just am near it in range.
So as soon as you raise the kickstand, that's when you can hold this in and start it.
Okay.
So right now it's in sport mode, which is the best mode to be able to get all the feeling of the bike and being able to experience all of its performances. Yeah, definitely, you're going to have a lot of fun on this bike.
All right, great. Yeah, same charger as my Porsche. So here's the charging cable to my Porsche. You can see how gigantic it is. The charging cable to the Livewire is significantly smaller. The nice thing is it's a 110 amp charging cable, so you can plug it in basically anywhere, but to get to a full charge on that cable takes 8 hours. So that is more of a trickle charger than a rapid charge. So you're essentially gonna have to find a Harley dealer or a charging station every time you want that thing charged. Otherwise, you're charging it overnight for 8 hours at a minimum to get to that 100% mark.
Perfect. Yep, you're gonna get on it. Yep. Raise the kickstand. Yeah, my bike is exactly perfect. And then hold this in.
Foot on the brake or nothing, I just...
Yep, you're good.
And it's on.
Yep.
It's running. Wow, that's wild. All right. I'm good. Kickstand up. Just go. Just go. So weird not having a clutch. It's so strange. There's nothing to grab to on a stop. No downshifting, no upshifting, no neutral. Whoa! Whoa! So weird not having a clutch or a gear selector. I can actually feel it pulsing under me to tell me that it's still on. Is that right? Wow, so down here, underneath me, the seat's pulsing to tell me that it's actually on. Instant torque with no gear selection. Holy moly. Whoa! I do like the downshift sound though. I like the pop. I like that you can change the exhaust on a Harley. That's the fun stuff about it. Whoa! All right, watch right here. Instant torque. So this is the 2020 Harley-Davidson Livewire. It's absolutely insane to drive. The weird thing is that there's no clutch here. There's no gear selector here. So it's really strange to drive, but what I did notice is there's almost like a heartbeat under your seat at stoplights, so you feel that the bike is actually there. What's strange is when people are revving their engines next to you and you're on an electric go-kart underneath you not making any noise. So this is not a touchscreen. It's actually just a selector mode here. And then what's strange here is your directionals indicators are a lot smaller this year on this model. The charging port's right here, and your charging cable can fit under the seat. Does it just go down?
No, there's a little release right here.
Thank you. I've learned not to play with that stuff. Test drive is over, and I can say that was exhilarating. It's like nothing I can really explain. It's a go-kart, but it's not a go-kart. It has nothing to do with a go-kart except that they both have electric engines. I mean, it's instant torque and there's no shifting, so it's just so fast. I may or may not have done 0 to 100 on the on-ramp. I'm not going to say that I did, but if I had done that, it was wild, or would have been wild. The bike, super cool. MSRP, 29,000 and change. Their dealer fee, $2,000. That's like their setup costs and everything. They gave me a number of 35 grand, which is their MSRP plus their allocation. So like their markup because of chip shortage and blah, blah, blah. That sticker shock, I'm not interested. I'm not going to do it. There's no way it's happening. It actually turned me off. So this bike is the most expensive Harley they have on the floor that's not a CVO, and it's just about the same price as they were asking for that Livewire initially. I left there with the price in the low 20s, which is really interesting. Now, there's a couple things about that bike that I'm trying to figure out and get my head around. So number one, it's about 130 to 150 mile range. If I go from my house down in southern New Hampshire up to the lake in northern New Hampshire, which is roughly 100 miles, I'm just about out of range. Now, if you've heard of Laconia Bike Week, by the time I get to Bike Week, I need a full charge. Now, 45 minutes gets you 80% charge. That means when all my biker buddies go to the gas station and fill up for 5 minutes, I have to make them wait for 45 minutes. If I want to get to 100%, I'm well over a couple hours. So it's really difficult to actually do some serious riding when you're making everybody wait for charging stations. Number one, you have to find charging stations, which isn't real in New Hampshire right now. I'd have to find Harley dealers to park at and leave it there. So you kind of have to balance your ride around charging stations instead of just being able to ride and pop into a gas station. Number two, I only ride my bikes on rides with buddies. I don't just go from work to home. If I was going from work to home, I could charge it when I get home. That makes a lot of sense. But going for rides, I'd have to cap it at 120 miles or so. I have to make sure I'm home by that 120 mile mark so I can charge it again, which isn't conducive to my type of riding. It's not meant for long-term riding. So that's another thing to consider when looking at the Livewire. So thanks to government mandates, by 2030, everything is gonna have to be electric, which means Harley has to make all their Harleys electric. Where's all that sound gonna be coming from? Sturgis Bike Week is gonna be a quiet town, I can tell you that. Or does it mean the value on combustion engines are gonna skyrocket after 2030 when Harley stops making gas engines? I don't know. I can tell you, my review on that bike, It was awesome. It was exhilarating. It was fun. It was fast. It was nimble. It was a race bike with more torque than any race bike I've ever been on. The problem is it's not a long ride bike. It's slightly uncomfortable. It's a cafe style, so the seats are hard, but it was fun. And at the price point in the low 20s, it's really fun. At the number they gave me, which is 30,000 plus, I'd rather just go buy a Road Glide, be comfortable, have a comfortable seat, have footboards, have radios, have speakers, have all the options. It's crazy to think that an electric bike, the way of the future, is as expensive as their most expensive bike in their shop. It's not gonna fly at that price point. Harley made an XR 1200, which was their sport bike. It was really, really fun in the mid 2000s. That bike was one of their least expensive bikes. So at an inexpensive price point, that bike was really a great motorcycle, and you can buy them now for like $6,500. There's something else I thought of after doing the Harley test drive that I wanted to mention. Most of the time when you're riding a Harley, or any type of motorcycle for that matter, you're not riding alone, you ride in groups. Think of motorcycle rallies. I just went to South Dakota this year. Downtown Sturgis, South Dakota. And almost every single destination while I was in South Dakota was about 60 to 90 miles. So now when you have 1 million people joining one state for a motorcycle rally that all need to charge their bikes every 100 miles and there's not nearly enough charging stations, what's going to happen? Especially when it's 30 minutes per charge. You're going to have bikes all over the Harley dealerships waiting for their turn to charge their bikes. There's just going to be lines for miles of people that need to charge their bikes. Just Deadwood alone took me well over an hour to get to, and there had to have been 100,000 bikes that would then need to charge their bikes when they got there. The electric bike has a warranty on the battery for, I think he said, 8 years. But a 10-year-old Harley really isn't that old to consider. People are still riding 10-year-old Harleys. People are still riding 20-year-old Harleys. What happens in 10 years when that battery fails, or the charge takes longer, or it doesn't hold as much range, just like your cell phones? Think of your cell phones, they wear out. The battery's gonna wear out. You're gonna drop some serious coin to be replacing that battery in 10 years. Who knows if you get 15 years? I don't know, and nobody knows. So that's the real question, and that's my review. I hope that was fun. I hope this was interesting. If it was, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up right down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, what's up? Subscribe so you get to see all my videos. I'll see y'all later. Have a great day. Adios. Perfect example of what I was talking about. The guy behind me on his Street Glide, that's his radio. So everybody gets to listen to his Gangsta's Paradise blaring while he revs his engine at the stoplight. What are you Harley guys gonna do if you can't do that at a street light? There's no radio and there's no exhaust. Also, you can't modify the exhaust, clearly, because there's no exhaust. So half the fun of customizing your bike is gone. And no one's gonna know that you're around.